Promoter Eddie Hearn, here with my man Mill City Boxing. What's going on, Eddie?
Oh, I'm excited. I mean, you know, we've our first ever show in Puerto Rico. Got 10,000. You know what the atmosphere is going to be like. It's going to be insane. You know, obviously we do a lot of events in Mexico as well, and this is another country that really understands its boxing, has a huge heritage in boxing, and they have a real star on their hands in Matías. It's actually a great fight on Saturday night. You know, Paro, he's a very good fighter, very accomplished, and it's going to be a great night.
So what was the motive and the energy of picking up Matías and Hearn in the same year?
I think for me, just being a boxing fan, is watching these guys and being a fan of them. You know, I watched Matías for the last few years and I thought, wow, this guy's really dangerous. And then people start saying, yeah, but, you know, he's avoided and he doesn't really have the profile. Well, why not? You know, I mean, then he wins a world championship and then he 135 turns into 140 in terms of the star division, and you've got a belt holder who every one of his victories comes from via knockout, who's probably one of the most exciting pound for pound fighters in the sport. We wanted in, you know, PBC were in. We beat them to the punch. Top Rank wanted him. We beat them to the punch as well. And you know, when you look back and now you look at the signing of Hearn as well, for me that's two of the most exciting fighters in the sport. But they have to perform. You know, Subriel on Saturday and you're on in 1 month today, actually, you know, in Philadelphia. Both in front of 10,000 plus. You know, I don't like the narrative of, well, when someone says, oh, they don't have the profile, that means they're really good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I've said it before loads of times when I didn't want to fight someone who we don't represent. Oh, who are they? You know, but you know, when we signed Hearn, people said, oh, you know, he doesn't have the profile. Then we go on sale. We're already done 10,000. We've got a month to go. How can you have never boxed him before? Here on Saturday night, we're gonna have 10,000 in there. Wait till you see it on TV, and then people start to realise these guys are actually stars. But what Subriel needs is a performance on Saturday night where the fans go, "Wow, we want Teo against Matías." Because in my opinion, Teofimo López against Matías is one of the best fights in boxing. And you got to want to unify the division, but I also understand it's a business, and if the risk doesn't weigh up with the reward, people aren't going to fight Matías. So we have to make sure when you do fight Matías, it's a big fight, it's a unification, and there's big money for it. You know, and that can happen here, most likely in America, maybe even Saudi Arabia. I think that's one of the best fights in the division. I really do.
How important is it for you to build Matías fan base in Puerto Rico and New York,
well, it's here,
for him
you know,
to get those Devin Haneys?
Yeah, but if you think about it, realistically, Teofimo López, Devin Haney, they're not going to come to Puerto Rico and fight Matías. I mean, that's why you have to take your hat off to Paro, because he's one of the very few that did it. It's bad enough fighting Matías in America, right? It's bad enough fighting Matías in your own back garden, let alone in his back garden. Do you know what I mean? But Liam is a very accomplished fighter. He's a crafty fighter, and he's a very clever fighter. So it's going to be a great fight. But we don't really have to build Subriel in Puerto Rico. He's already built. Look at what's happening on Saturday. You know, we're in Manatee. We're not in San Juan, and you can have 10,000. Like, the atmosphere is going to be incredible. So we just need to build him globally. We need to get people excited about him. We need people to want to see him in the big fights. And I think certainly fight fans, they definitely want to see him in the big fights now. You know, and we've got to really go on and, you know, if he looks good on Saturday night, he's going to put the pressure on us and we have to deliver.